we'll see how this all unfolds today. So I stood there. I was nervous. You talk about faith. I was so nervous. And next thing I heard, my name was called. Hello, hello. I am going to sit right here and talk with you guys. How are you all doing today? I just got finished with the bathroom, smelling really nice in here. But today I would like to talk about, I felt led to talk about overcoming procrastination. Yes, overcoming procrastination. And that is something that I struggle with personally. I just felt led to share this with you all. Maybe there's someone out there that's thinking about starting a business or starting a YouTube channel or whatever it may be. And you keep putting it off and keep putting it off. And now you have people that are generally just procrastinators altogether. And you also have people who are not necessarily procrastinators, but there are times when, God put it up on their heart to do something and they feel insecure about doing it, not really confident, not sure if they can do it. And then they procrastinate, they put it off. And I believe that in this time that we're living in, God is calling out certain people. There are certain people that He has been preparing behind the scenes for such a time as this, and He's now calling those people to come out. I have a short story that I'd like to share, and this happened several years ago. And every time I think about it, it kind of build up my faith in God. And I want to share it with you. Maybe it may be a blessing to you. Several years ago, a friend and I were walking in the mall, and we passed a booth. And my friend said, "Why don't you try?" I'm like, "Nah, no way. I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't want to go into any competition or any talent show." I was in my late, I would say late 30s. Yes, late 30s at the time, and I didn't feel like, I think that time had passed, and I didn't want to be bothered with. And he convinced me, and he kept telling me, try it. And I said, "Okay, I'll do it just for fun." And so I signed up. I wrote my name on a piece of paper and I dropped it in the box. And to enroll, that's how you had to enroll in the competition, and someone would reach out to you later on. So I did so, and shortly after I was contacted and I was given the information that I needed to know how to go about being part of this uh, competition. It was a beauty and talent show competition type, thing. And so I was kind of nervous, a little nervous, because we had to do a photo shoot and we also had to perform on stage. I didn't have any issues with the photo shoot, but the performance, that's the part that really made me nervous. So I spent days trying to figure out what is it that I was going to do during this show. What type of performance? I don't feel like I have any talent that's stage worthy to perform in front of a large crowd. And so I said, okay, I will choreograph a dance to one of my favorite artists at the time. I won't say who the artist is. And so I bought a CD and I listened to the song. I tried to choreograph a dance. It didn't go too well. And I remember one night I had a dream. Around that time, I had a dream with the artist, and the artist was teaching me how to dance, and I couldn't get it. And I said, you know what? I got frustrated. I said, just forget about it. And I told the artist, let me teach you what I know. And I started to speak into this artist's life, speak the word of God, and she started to cry. And that's when I woke up from the dream. I said to myself, I need to just lay aside that idea that I'm going to dance, perform to this song on stage. It's not going to happen. But I did so, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't know what song I was going to perform. I didn't know what to do. And I was praying to God. At that time, I felt like God had a hand in this, and I needed to rely on Him to tell me what to do. So I waited and I waited, and the day came when we now had to go and perform. So I remember standing there. It was a large crowd, and it was almost time for me to get on stage. I will not kid you. I'm not, God as my witness. I had about three people in front of me before I had to go on stage. And I still didn't know what I was going to do. But I trusted that God was going to tell me what to do. And I know I was edging it. And I remember I started to get really nervous. Even though I was trusting in God, I started to get really, really nervous. So it was about less than 15 minutes before I went on stage. Read Psalm 23 on stage. When you get on there, read Psalm 23. I said, what are you, Psalm 23? I did not have time to argue with God. So I was like, you know what? That's all I got right now. I got to do it. I got to be obedient. And so I said, okay, I am going to read Psalm 23. Do you know, I was so nervous, I forgot Psalm 23. I couldn't remember the words to the psalm. It's a psalm that I know by heart. I've memorized it. And because I was so nervous, I couldn't remember the words. I'm like, oh my God, this is not looking good for me at all. I had a friend there with me, and I went to him and I said, can you please pull up Psalm 23 for me so that I can just take a glance at it and it'll bring it back to my recollection, to my memory. And I went over, and he had a laptop, no internet signal, couldn't pull it up. No one had a smartphone that I could ask, that was with me, that I could ask to go ahead and pull up Psalm 23. And it was just one more person in front of me before I got on stage. And I said, okay, we'll see how this all unfolds today. So I stood there. I was nervous. You talk about faith. I was so nervous. And next thing I heard, my name was called. And I was like, okay, just do it. And I braced myself and I walked on that stage. You all, I walk on that stage. Thinking about it, I'm getting real emotional right now. I walked on the stage. I looked at the crowd. It was a large crowd. I faced the crowd. Only thing I said in my heart, God, I know you won't fail me now. Don't fail me now. I raised my hand up in the air, one hand up in the air, and I said, the Lord is my shepherd. And that's all I remembered. It's like from that point on, the Spirit of God took over. It took over, and the words just kept flowing out of my mouth, And it felt like an out of body experience. I was just moving around the stage, not performing, but just saying the psalm. And I don't think it was a performance at that time. It was just, I don't know what to call it. And at a certain point, I couldn't hear myself anymore. The crowd just went off. They started screaming and clapping. I heard amens, and they were so happy. And it happened so quick. I couldn't tell you what happened. And after I was done saying the psalm, I walked off the stage. And I said to myself, what in the world just happened? And the producer came to my family that were there with me at the time, and they said, is she with you? Meaning me. They were asking my family, am I with them? Because he didn't know if they were my family. And they said yes. And he said, she's really good. She's really good. She's really good. And one of my one of the family member that was with me said to me, when I saw you on the stage, I have never seen you that way before. It's the way you were just moving around and walk. It was just amazing. And she was like, wow. And that's what happened when we put our trust in God. Sometimes we think we have to have it all planned out. And as the saying goes, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Maybe God is asking you to do something and you feel like you're not competent enough, you're not knowledgeable enough, you don't know what to do, you don't feel that you're the right person. It's not by your strength. It's God that's going to give you the grace to do it. Put aside, oh, I can't do it because I don't know how. And God has a habit of choosing the people based upon the world's standard who seem less qualified for the call. And He uses them for His glory. And today I encourage you, if you feel that God has placed it upon your heart to do something for Him, for His glory, because He already deposited in you, and you just need to tap into it and just trust Him. Take that first step of faith, and you will see how God will step in and wow you. He would sure wow me that day. I will never forget that day. I will use that experience as an example for the rest of my life, that when God asks me to do something, to trust in Him, not by my own strength, but by His strength. And like the Word of God said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And that was my message for today. And until next time, bye-bye.